So, you got to look at this. Whenever I say, how good I am, I always step outside my shoes. I said, look, if I saw this guy on YouTube and he did 10 hits 1 second, he's doing these powerful combos, he's applying kicks just right, so I have trouble, I would say, no, I would have great trouble beating this guy. And he has 4,000 videos on YouTube, and he says he's being covertly drugged, and he has videos where people are saying, who know him best, say there's nothing wrong with him, and he has a video where someone says that they were told to provoke him to the psych ward, and another one where she says it again, and she doesn't even agree with him about everything. She doesn't know what it means. She doesn't agree with him about what it means. She doesn't follow his videos to know that it is proof that they are, covertly drugging him, that they are setting him up. But she definitely hasn't changed her story. I mean, she has shown that she's not on his side, but she's willing to tell the truth about certain things, and where she's willing to play stupid doesn't work in his fucking favor, I mean, when I look at this from, I go outside myself, it's like, wow, this guy is probably the most respectable guy I have ever seen, ever. And I never saw Jesus Christ on camera. When I see Martin Luther King, I say, okay, this guy's just as smart, if not smarter than Martin Luther King. And he's the top fucking martial artist. And he lives in a more oppressive time than Martin Luther King did, where there's eugenics killing 43 million babies a year. Where there's psychiatry killing 500,000 people a year, where they have all this technology and radiation and people complaining of voice to skull and all this stuff. When I see this guy, I don't see a shred of evidence that he is lying, and I see mountains of evidence that he is telling the truth. When I see this guy in his videos, I don't see anything abnormal. I see a normal soul brother who is being persecuted by devils. That's what I see. When I see this guy, when I hear this guy's story, how he had a fiancée for 4 years and she never said he was fucking crazy. When I see this guy, everyone who's known him best, the top 15 people who know him best, saying there's nothing wrong with, when I see this guy, I see greatness. When I see him say, I am Heru, I cannot say that he's not. In the martial art world, he is Heru. He is Heru being drugged by serpents that are praying to God that the drugs don't wear off so he doesn't swoop down and start taking them out. When I see this guy that I am looking at right now, I see sophistication, I see class, I see morals, scruples, principles, ethics, values. I see the Spirit of God. I see something that whoever talks bad about him, they must be cursed. Whoever tries to hinder his progress, they must be evil. And whoever doesn't love him for giving his life and suffering all of his life and never backing down, whoever doesn't love him, I don't want nothing to do with them, because this guy, he is the essence of good guy. He's one of the last good guys left. This guy. He's a stand-up motherfucker. He persevered. He has longevity. He has moral will. When I see this guy, I say, you know what? I want to be like him. And then I realize, then I go back to being myself and say, yeah, you know what? I inspired myself. When I look at my video, say, you know what? I can't in the future just sell out. Then I'll look back at who I was. And then I'll look in the mirror and be like, what the fuck happened to me if I ever sold out? When I see this guy, I cannot ever change. I must always be better and better. I must raise the bar higher and higher. And the more they want me to lower it and compromise and sell out, the more I must raise it to the heavens. When I see this guy, I know God is great. And through God, greatness can be achieved and then some. The sky isn't even the limit. The heavens aren't even the limit. When I see this guy, I know that I must be true to the Lord no matter what happens. And any counter argument is what is called bitch shit by definition. Fucking bitch shit. When I see this guy, I wish that he wasn't me and that he was someone else. Not because I'm not proud of him, because I want to stand with him and fight on his side to the death. Because that is an honorable man. I don't want to have lived in his time without standing by him. I don't want to have had the opportunity to send him a message and saying, I'm riding with you, and not having done that. I don't want to not support this guy. I don't want this guy to feel alone. I want to stand with Horus for the Christian God to save all of mankind. When I see this guy, and I know that it is me, I thank God. Thank you, God, for making me such a great man. Thank you for all your blessings that you have bestowed on me, that you have gifted to me, that I may be a beacon of light, that I may be the example for all men why it is important to cultivate mind, body, and soul, to struggle for God, to not be worldly, to not be of this world, just be in it, to transcend. I am so glad that it is me. But I wish that there was someone else just like me that would ride with me to the end. I wish that there was armies of people like me and we would rise up and take on all of our adversaries, all the enemies of God. That's what I see. And keep in mind, I am one of the most perceptive, intuitive, insightful, intellectual, intelligent motherfuckers on this motherfucking planet. That is honestly what I see. And when I say, who am I going to endorse? Who am I going to say, hey, this is who you should strive to be like? If there's one person on this planet, it's me. I'm who you should strive to be like. Fuck materialism. Fuck controlled opposition praising you. Be uncontrolled. Work on your mind, body, and soul. Fight for honor and all that is right. So, I made a lot of videos. And the time has come, The time has come when my doom is soon. Very soon. When I was young, I said my doom is soon in a song, and I knew my life would be short. And now it is coming to an end. I am very sick from prolonged covert drugging. I've looked up on different medical sites and health sites the problems that I'm having. And they are consistent with prolonged drugging, and they overlap with brain tumors and things like this, which I do not have. At least I don't think so. But they are consistent with covert drugging. I'm suffering the speech patterns, the headaches, stomach aches, lung problems, respiratory issues, respiratory illness, high blood pressure and irregular heartbeat, and my heart palpitations are off, and my pulse is ridiculous. You wouldn't even believe it. And I know, I'm dying from the drugs that they are giving me. None of this stuff is consistent with mental illness. It's all consistent with covert drugging. Even stress cannot create the kind of damage my body is suffering from. And you must consider that all the working out I've done, all the aerobic exercise and the anaerobic exercise I do, all the salads I eat, all the water I drink, there is no reason I shouldn't be healthy. Soon it was over for me. And I want you all to remember the things that I tell you, the shirts that I show you, the pictures I've shown you, the proofs I've given you, the interviews. Fight for honor and all that is right. Look, I'm not a racist, okay? I don't need to put any European symbols or anything on it, because you're looking at a guy who's half white. I shouldn't feel bad about talking, calling out the secret societies and all these people and the Jews and so on, because you're looking at a guy who's slightly Semitic, you know, genetically. You're looking at a guy who's half white and half black. You know, it's just how it is. You know, and that goes back to misconceptions and how we perceive the world. If you really look carefully, if you really had insight, you say, you know what? I don't think this guy is all black. My dad is very black. He's African, Nigerian. And my mom is white American. Her family has been here pretty much since the Mayflower. You know, when you look at me, you truly say, huh, does this guy really look all black? If you really did that, most people don't, you would say, hey, you know what? This guy is part white. If you listen to how I talk, do I really talk like a typical black guy? It's certainly not because I'm some house nigga motherfucker. I wouldn't wear martial art gis and stuff. You know, if you really examine the guy that is saying these things, you will see European features, you know, possibly Anglo-Saxon features. But my mother actually is kind of short. You know, her mother and father, well, like 5'6", something like that. Her mother and father pretty much that height. They're kind of short and stocky. You know, so some people will say, well, we made this video about body types, this and that. We felt offended because we're that, our people are that. You know, my mom and her grandparents are that. You know, one of my dad's brothers isn't as tall as him and my uncle that passed. Okay? You know, it's like not everyone in my family is fucking above 6 feet. You know, I'm not even talking about the people who married, you know, into the family. You know, I'm talking about the people who are related to me by blood. Is, you know, not just the people who married into the family. You know, and they're all my family. You know, but so, you know, people don't understand that I'm just telling you the truth, man. You know, I got, you know, as far as, you know, are white people evil per se? No, I'm fucking part white. You know, I'm not evil. You know, is there this culture that has been influenced by Satanism and paganism? Abso-fucking-lutely. You're a fool if you don't agree. You know, does that mean every type of white culture is evil? No. You see, I'm not a fucking racist. Okay, I get fed up that there's certain groups of people hating on me. It doesn't matter what these groups are. You know, if they were fucking Asian, I would say a bunch of Asians are plotting on me. If they were fucking Arabic, I would say there's a bunch of Arabic motherfuckers plotting on me. You know, if they were Islander, I believe there's Islanders have all ganged up on me. You know, but this conspiracy has been disproportionately white and Semitic. And for better or worse, that must be exposed. You know, that's part of what happened to me. And it's not that I had something against these people. Don't ever think that. That's not why I started saying this. It's not why I'm saying it. It's because they had something against me. And that was my political views. They already thought that I was undesirable, you know, because I'm black. Okay, the people who are doing this. But they really, you know, got their panties in a bunch. They really got, their blood began to boil when I started talking about them. When the people you don't like already start exposing your plan that makes you look like the evil scumbag you are, you can imagine they felt the need to strike back. You know, I mean, you really think that you can get away with taking shots at the people in charge for 20 years, 7 years on YouTube alone, and magically they're not going to feel the need to retaliate? Do you really think that they were just going to take it? Do you really think they're just taking it? Watch my videos and ask yourselves, when the people in charge, when the spiritual bottom feeders catch wind of what I'm saying, do you think they are just going to take it? Let me show you a little something about spiritual bottom feeders and whether or not they're going to take it. Okay, this is just one quick example that just came to mind right now, or else I would have brought it up earlier. Okay, I'm going to go to my videos. I'm going to go to view it as new visitor so I can get right to it. I'm going to click on Saturn and the Dollar Bill Freestyle. And notice it is the rainbow, right? It was released January 31st. Today is Monday, February 1st, 2006. So it was released yesterday. It has 21 views. Okay? Now remember, if you've been following me for a while, you know that they used to give me 9 thumbs down consistently. The default picture of this is a rainbow picture. Well, let's see how many thumbs down we have, shall we? 21 views. There are, I don't know if you can see right here. Right here, see this? Make sure to curve it a little bit so you can see it. Where the cursor is, it says 9 thumbs down. Almost 50% thumbs down. 4 likes. Okay, so I have 21 people, 13 people rated it, and 9 of them gave me a thumbs down. There's 9 people that went out of their way to give me a thumbs down on a video that I only have 21 views on. Most of them probably didn't even watch the video. Because there are people who have a problem with me. There's a group of people. These people aren't just strangers who they all have the same obsession. They came together as a group and they said, we're going to focus on him. We're going to give him a hard time. And they're almost certainly atheistic gays. And they're almost certainly affiliated with the government based on everything else that has been going on, especially affiliated with mental health. Psychological operations, psychological warfare. Are those 9 people in my head? Or am I being persecuted for my political views? Another word for harassment is persecution. You know, when I said this back in December 2000,
I'm the top martial artist in California and I'm being persecuted for my political views.
Have I not proven that right time and time again? And I am being persecuted for my political views. I'm not making this up. Don't you see? When I did this interview.
So, did that atheist guy really tell you to provoke me to go to the psych ward?
Yes.
When I showed you the countless proofs, you know, the people on Facebook saying, we're watching you, we're all watching you, we're all after you. You know, you might say he was being sarcastic, but once you couple it with the interview with the 9 thumbs down, with the other screenshots I have, one person saying, you know, I'm going to put your dick picture out everywhere. You know, I'll put in the comments the link to that. You know, I'll put your dick if you don't take down your videos. I say, where does this come from? You don't get it. I say, why, what are you talking about? Where's this coming from? They say, you don't get it. I'm out to destroy you. And they're not the only one. This is how they treat a man of God. This is how homosexuals treat a man of God that they cannot debate. None of these people ever said, you know what, let's debate about this. Let's have a civilized discussion on this. They jumped to persecuting me, harassing me, trying to set me up to go to the psych ward. Why do you think that is? Because they're sickos. That's like you look at me sideways, I pull out a gun, shoot you in the face. I say, well, there's nothing wrong with me. It's like, well, why didn't you say, stop looking at me? Why didn't you fucking, you know, why didn't you do all these other logical things? Why did you resort to extremism? Which is setting a sane person up to go to the psych ward, where psychiatric medications kill, you know, 500,000, 500,000 of people a year in Western countries alone. That is called extremism. Okay? So why didn't they? Why weren't they reasonable? You know? Why weren't they reasonable? Why didn't they?
Antidepressants are killing people. A recent report claims the drug kills an estimated 500,000 Americans and Europeans annually. Efficiency trials funded
annually. You know, and then later on he talks about how it's also antipsychotics and mood stabilizers and SSRI and so on. Oh, come on. They want me to have permanent cognitive damage. You think they're giving me thumbs down because they want me to get help? You hear my arguments. You see how I logically put things together. I don't seem like someone who needs help. They're not doing that because they want to help me. They are doing that because they want to destroy me, just like they said. And they are watching me just like they said. And they are sabotaging me just like they said on record. What don't you people get? We are dealing with spiritual bottom feeder scum. Okay? I have proven it definitively that America was based on the idea of a new order of the ages, based on, you know, a new American era, a new order of the ages. Charles Thompson, the Latin specialist, okay? Novus Ordo Seclorum, a new order of the ages, referring to the eclogue of Virgil, Saturn worship. We are dealing with males and females who worship Saturn. Sluts or slatterns, that's what a slattern is, a slut. Slatterns that worship Saturn. Rich scum who want to be satanic filth in Hollywood, the pharmaceutical sector, the military industrial complex, and so on and so on. Don't you see what is going on? It's on record. I'm not just some crazy conspiracy theorist. In fact, I'm not a crazy conspiracy theorist. I'm a guy who's saying, look, this is on fucking record. This is what they say. Imagine what they don't say. This is what they say mixed with a little research. You know, I simply looked up what is written on the dollar bill on the reverse of the Great Seal, you know, the $1 bill. You know, and that's what they say. They say, look, this comes from this guy. He's referring to the eclogue of Virgil. You know, mainstream sources, peer-reviewed research. You know, this is what it is. And then so I say, you know, I look at it and say, oh, by the way, in parentheses, that also means the reign of Saturn. And it's very obvious in Latin. It's like Saturna, reina. You know, it's obvious. Yes, they're not just saying that because for some random reason. That's what they're referring to. So I look up Saturn. Something I've done in the past because I've even brought up the phrase slatterns that worship Saturn years ago, like 2 years ago in a song, you know, and I've talked about this before. You know, I've had these books, you know, excuse me, going back, you know, going fucking back, you know, Jordan Maxwell talks about Saturn worship. I've had these books for fucking like 6 years, okay? Slatterns that worship fucking Saturn. In your face. Ask the MGTOWs who try to, you know, ask any man who tries to, you know, men rights association, anyone who tries to protest feminism about slatterns who worship Saturn, you know, feminazis in your fucking face. Ask Alex Jones about feminazis who brag about how they kill their babies. Look up Marquis de Sade, you know, recommending abortion as a social policy. Okay, this is on record, man. These people are sickos, man. And these people have made me sick physically because they are sick mentally and spiritually. Thank you. You know what is very interesting to me? These 5 books prove my point quite clearly. Okay? First one is Symbols of Catholicism. If you want, you can pause it and read that, you know, what this book's about. Good book. A lot of it, most of you probably know already, but some of it, I'm sure you don't know already unless you're a very devout Catholic who's done your research. Okay, now look at these, okay? This video is for the Illuminati people, you know, excuse me, for the people who know that there's an Illuminati, who know that there's a Freemasonic conspiracy. The first is that old-time religion, okay? And you see a symbol of religion. Jordan Maxwell, okay, and Paul Tice and Alan Snow, with a chapter by Gerald Macy. And there's a bunch of astrotheology and, you know, Egyptian gods and so on and so forth, okay? I don't agree with everything that's in his book, but, you know, the title is absolutely correct. There's an old-time religion. They believe in it, okay? This one is where I'm getting at, okay? Look at these guys, okay? What are they doing? They're plotting for world domination, all right? So if you're somebody who believes in the Illuminati, for you not to believe that there's experimentation going on, you know, is absolute madness. These guys are absolutely concerned with control. They're like, look, we're going to control the world. We're going to control the minds and hearts of people. So what are they going to do? They're going to work with mental health to do so. Okay? Satellite terrorism in America. Okay? A new breed. All right? Of course, they're going to do things with satellites. Who knows how deep it goes. But one thing for sure they're going to do is they're going to have guinea pigs. And they're going to do mind control. No. And who better than political dissidents with 4,000 videos on YouTube who have an uncanny ability to perform martial arts and to present their argument in a superior manner. Okay, matrix of power. You know, and it goes on about astrotheology and so on, and, you know, things that have symbolic effects. They believe that symbols trigger parts of the brain. That's why they have their symbols. and so on. You know, things on the dollar bill. You know, so to me, it's very, you know, every conspiracy theorist must believe in this. If you believe in this, okay, you to believe that there's a matrix of power, there's a great conspiracy. For you not to believe that mental health is involved and that they don't experiment on people, especially after MK Ultra, you know, you know, that's just crazy to me. That is crazy to me. That is far crazier than believing this stuff is real ever could be. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you like this: if you believe in the Illuminati, it's just a matter of common sense that you believe in gang stalking, you believe in psychological warfare. Period. You know, the devil is the great trickster. And how do you trick someone if you're not playing mind tricks on them? If it's not psychology that you're using to do it? How do you do it? I'll leave it at that. Thank you.